Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria 3, where we are currently in a bit of a deficit, but I don't expect that to last for too much longer here. Primarily, actually, all of our expenditure here, you can see our balance is coming up. All of our expenditure is on construction goods, and we're going to be finishing up construction here pretty soon. So that'll be absolutely great. Now, to be clear, we're going to be building more things, but not immediately. So for the time being, we're going to allow these to all finish up, and that'll be done in a few weeks. Now, we're nearly out of credit, but we're declining on how much we're spending on our credit, so that's absolutely great. We're no longer working our way down nearly as much, so let's let this finish up. That's basically all there is to it. We need to finish our constructions here. One more week on our railway in Westphalia, and looking at our current situation, yeah, we currently have paper, iron, and tools. We'll work on that, but for the time being, this is looking good. Okay, so there's one of those finishing up. That's absolutely great. And our tooling workshop and our paper mill is going to finish up very soon here. You can see here our balance is nearly back to positive. Our balance, excluding temporary income and expenses, is actually positive now. And it's been that way because our construction goods are very expensive. But that makes sense. That makes sense to me. Okay. We are now positive again. And it's only minorly positive. But let's let that come on up here. We are spending a decent amount on interest. My question is, how much more positive is this going to get here? 6.05. Okay, so we definitely know that all of these are going to take time to get jobs populated, right? That's definitely going to be a thing. So, like, this government administration here that just went in, it's got 80% of its employment. Or like this paper mill that just went in, it's only got 10% of its employment. So these aren't really online yet. Looking at our expensive government goods here, we need more paper, but we do have that coming online. There's an engines input goods shortage in the Prussian market. Okay. So what is an input goods shortage? Buildings that consume goods will suffer an output penalty if less than 50% of the buy orders for these goods are satisfied. This is usually caused by insufficient availability of the good in the building's market, but it may also be a result of low market access in the building's state region. Okay. So where is this building then? Where is it short at? It just says in the Prussian market, so presumably that's just in our nation in general. Okay, so in that case, if we were to go into the construction lens here, we would want to create a motor industry. Okay, we can build just one of these, and this will drive our debt a little bit further. But as long as we're a little careful, I think it'll be fine. So where can we see... Okay, just going by peasants here. So it looks like Rhineland is the place to build it. If I'm looking at this correctly. Now, our predicted earnings per week are not necessarily what we're looking at here. For the moment, this is fine. And we'll go ahead and build this in Rhineland. Okay. Cool. So that is underway, and this is going to drive us a bit further into debt, I think. Yes. But this isn't so bad. We still have insufficient taxation capacity in Silesia, which does surprise me a little bit. 15 taxation capacity. So how much taxation capacity do we need in Silesia? Where do we see that? Okay, using 233 of 206. Got it. So we know that we need a grand total... Actually making me do the math here? That's very rude. We do know that we need a grand total of, let's see here, 27, I think, if I'm mathing that correctly. So government administration, this would bring it up by 15. So we need to expand this twice. Okay. I'm assuming we can only do one at a time here. Are we building both of these simultaneously? That's a little wild. We're about to find out. Yeah, we're building both of them simultaneously. Okay, so can we reduce the amount that we're actually spending on construction goods? We can pause our construction. Okay, fair enough. Interesting. I'm not sure that I want to pause our construction. I think we're okay. This will ultimately be good for us, I believe. So that'll be fine. And as far as our goods cost goes, let's go ahead and hop into the... Let's see, where do we see the actual... Yeah, here's the market. Okay. Lots of cost increases in iron. Yeah, iron is very good. Luxury clothes are very good. Engines are going to be very good, which is one of the reasons why we're building that. But it looks to me like what we really need to do is expand our iron mines. Now, our iron mines were out over in these directions. 100% employed and 100% employed. Okay. So we can definitely work on expanding these iron mines, but I want to wait on that for a bit. We're probably going to need to work on upgrading our steel mills as well, is my guess. But we need to work our way out of debt. That's very clear, and I don't want to spend too much. I already feel like we overbuilt our construction capacity, and that was a bit of a mistake, for sure. I'm not going to, next time, build it quite that high. So that'll be fine. Our GDP is number 8 worldwide right now, and that's completely and totally okay. Insufficient taxation capacity a little bit in North Rhine as well. So up over here, let's take a look at what we've got going on there. This is actually at capacity. It's not over capacity. Cool. So that's fine for the moment. We are improving our income slightly, and that's great. Cool. 12 weeks until our motor industries and 6 weeks on our government administration in Silesia. After we're done with that, we will probably begin work on upgrading our iron a little bit, because it's very clear that we need more iron. That said, this balance is getting better. Slightly better. Slightly better. So sorting by the market price here is, I think, reasonably decent. Transportation produced in railways. Yes. We do have some railways, so that's okay. We're going to need more, almost certainly. But for right now, this seems reasonably fine. So looking at what we've got here, we're working on engines. We still need paper, tools, and iron. Unhealthy economy. Yeah. That's fine. We'll get there. So our government administration here is going to complete soon. 2 weeks on that, and that will cause our income to come up pretty dramatically. Explosives input goods shortage in the Prussian market now. Okay. So that's reasonably fine as well. We'll finish up our government administrations right now. And that causes us to be barely going into debt here. We are quite in debt, but we're barely going into debt. Now, I would definitely like to start working our way out of debt here. That would be a pretty big deal. Our investment pool is currently 0, and we might want to work our way up on that before we build additional things, in theory. Actually, we're only at minus 909. While still constructing here. That's pretty good. Okay, we have an unproductive trade route. So, can we just remove it? Yes. Yes, we can. Fantastic. And what does that do to our iron? Minus 217? This appears to be fixing itself at this point, so I don't think we need to work too much on iron. I believe paper is improving as well. Tools appears to be perhaps as well. Yeah, we have unused construction production. That's because we overbuilt our construction. But that's to be expected at this point. Okay, so Silesia is still at -4 in their capacity here. My question is, using 233 of 235. Is this because this is Yeah, this is not fully employed at this point. So I do expect Silesia to be fixed now, and it is. Now we've just got paper and iron in the Prussian market. And we'll be finishing up our motor industries here. That's great. There we go. We have nothing under construction right now. So if we believe that iron is getting better, which it is, iron is improving here. Do we believe that paper is as well? We do. So for the time being, it feels like what we would want to bring in would perhaps be like textile mills, but that's regular clothes. How do we make luxury clothes? Produced in textile mills. Okay. So in that case, we would build this in, say, Prussian Brunswick. Now this will earn us a little bit per week. And let's go ahead and do that. Cool. So I'm not going to build too much here. I do want to check in on where we built that engine, or the engine production plant, which was where? I actually can't remember. There's a steel mill out over here. Cool. Arms industries, munition plants. Did we build that? I cannot remember where I built it. Okay, do we have a map mode for seeing production? Surely we do. Okay, what does these colors mean? GDP contribution? Yeah, that must be what that's showing. Okay, cool. So from here, we should be able to see where our engine production is from the tooltips anyway. Because I've completely forgotten where I built that. Here. Okay, so this is our motor industries. We only have 20% employment there right now. Now it's 30% employment. Cool. So here's my question right now. If we weren't constructing, what would we be making? 6.41k. Now that's not a ton. But these textile mills will make us a decent chunk of money, which is good. And we could definitely get more transportation, which is produced in railways. So the interesting thing about that is railways produce transportation, but they also give us infrastructure, and they give us urbanization per level. But they also allowed us to connect to the trade network a little easier. So I would like to work on getting level 1 railways basically everywhere. Now this may be overbuilding, and if it does end up overbuilding us, we'll see how it goes. If it does end up overbuilding us by too much, then we are definitely going to pause construction. 127k. That's quite a lot. I wish we could pause particular buildings, rather than just pausing all construction. That would be nice. The question is, do we think we can get away with this level of balance? I don't think we can. So I'm going to only work on 3 at a time for the moment. I would like to get railways built in all of these locations, but I really do feel like that's overbuilding. So we'll hold off on that for now. Cool. We do have an iron shortage currently. Now that's almost certainly because of our construction here. But one thing we could do, of course, is work on our iron mines here. We could expand these, in theory, up to like size 5. For each of these mines. Like that. Now that's incredibly expensive. And if we're going to do that, then we are definitely going to drop the priority on these railways. Like that. Cool. So our textile mills are 17 weeks away, and this is not great for our economy. I definitely think that we should back off on these. I think that's very, very clear. So let's hop back into our construction here. I don't want to give up on the progress that we've already gotten. That's the thing. Because if we cancel this, we probably lose that progress, right? That's what I'm thinking. Regardless, I think we need to. We can't really afford it. So we're definitely going to back off a little bit there. We certainly need more iron. There's no doubt about that one. But I think that was a little bit wasteful. So that's something we're going to have to consider in the future. Cool. So 15 weeks until these textile mills are done. But we need to get our economy turned around a little bit here. That's very clear. Investment pool is getting 8.22k per month, or rather per week. I don't like having the construction queue empty. That feels wasteful as well. But at the same time, we do need to claw our way out of debt. We have a lot of debt here, and I definitely feel like I'm overbuilding. So I'm not going to queue up anything more after this. Water tube boilers have started to spread to us. Cool. Price of engines has increased. Price of tools have increased, and small arms have increased as well. Okay. Looks good. And yes, I'm well aware that we have unused construction production. That was definitely overbuilt. There's no doubt about that. So we're going to chill on our construction after these 5 buildings for the moment. And that'll be fine, I think. So our textile mills will be done in 10 weeks. Which will be a lot. And then after that, well, actually 7 and 8 weeks on the iron mines, respectively. Interesting that it popped this up for us. Okay, so Russia has annexed a decentralized nation. Interesting that it popped a big notification up for something that we weren't involved in. Very interesting indeed. Standard of living has decreased in Prussian Anhalt. Okay. Engine price has dropped, presumably because our production is coming online. 6 and 7 weeks until our expansion of the iron mines is done. And 7 weeks on the textile mills. Okay. Gotcha. So yeah, it's very clear that the construction sectors were overbuilt at the beginning of this game. That's a mistake I will not be making next time. So that's fine. But we're going to finish up these constructions and start to work our way out of debt a bit. I'm going to try moving it up to speed 4 since we're mostly just waiting. Oh, that's interesting. At speed 4, this no longer has that lerp effect. Huh. Wild. Anyway, we'll play on speed 4 here. And we are, of course, going to be finishing up these iron mines in just 2 weeks. And the textile mills in 3 weeks. So things are going to get a lot better for us economically. Yeah, this is certainly much, much better. It's not great, but it's better. So the textile mills will finish up here. And now we're just working on those 2 railroads. We'll get those finished up in 5 weeks, respectively. And in theory, our revenue will continue to come up here. In theory. Those construction goods are very expensive, though. Iron, wood, tools, and fabric. Fair enough. Okay, so looking at the market here, we can see that currently, still luxury clothes are pretty major. I'm expecting that our single factory is going to come pretty close to solving that. Let's see, where's that luxury goods at? Where did I build that? I'm going to have to try to remember where these things are built in order to look at them. I don't necessarily love that. Here's the textile mills here. So we're currently producing regular clothes. Auto expand is a potential option here. That's certainly interesting. Our lead mine is currently losing value, but that's fine too. Okay, so we're only losing 3K now per week, and we're about to finish up our construction here. There we go. That's finished up now. So we're now making money again. And we'll just let this chill for a bit. I'm going to let the investment pool build up for a while. I feel like that is very, very valuable. So we'll let that build up, and we'll work on paying off our debts. It's going to take some time for that to work its way through, and it's going to take time for some of these constructions to come online as well. We do have unused construction production, that's obviously true. Paper in the Prussian market is something that I would like to potentially think about expanding. Our paper mill here is reaching its max cash reserves. If the building runs a positive weekly balance, some of the money is deposited into the cash reserves, while the rest is paid out to Pops with ownership shares as dividends. Cash reserves are considered to be owned by the Pops with the ownership shares, who will be angry if their cash reserves are destroyed due to downsizing or bankruptcy. The sum of all cash reserves in your country determines your credit. Okay. Well, that's fine. We're working on paying down our credit right now. Now, military wages are a pretty major thing. Let's actually look at our budget here. Can we consider turning down our government wages and our military wages for the moment? Actually, yes, we could. Cool. So that will increase our income by a pretty dramatic amount. We could also increase our taxation level. How much would that actually help? A decent amount. We'll want to reset this after we've recovered a bit from our early expenditures. Okay. No significant market price changes in the last month. Interesting. Cool. So we're making money here. And I want to take a look. I would love to expand this paper mill. I would absolutely love to do so, which the paper mill was up over here. So what is the auto expand criteria again? Cash reserves is greater than 95%, market access is greater than 50%, and remaining duration of the construction queue is less than 26 weeks. Okay. I'm probably not going to run auto expand because I generally don't like automatically doing that stuff in this game, but I would like to expand that paper mill. Here's the question. How much is that going to cost us in construction? We got the Bessemer process unlocked. Okay. A new production method for our steel mills, and leading to reinforced concrete and open hearth process. Okay. So we have a steel mill out over here. And how do we switch its process? It's currently on hand assembly. but we're on blister steel. We could go up to Bessemer process. So the substitution will... Okay, it makes it more efficient. So we should definitely do that. Cool. So we'll definitely work on that one. And we can grab ourselves a technology here. So I'd like to continue working on production. I would like to think about... Let's see. Knowing what we know right now, which isn't a lot, perhaps we go for... I mean, we could work our way down just left to right, straight down. I'm sure eventually I'll have opinions on what the good ones here are. But for now, I don't have that. So that'll be fine. And we are slowly working our way out of debt here. That's good. Our amount of interest is going to come down. We're still making a good amount of money, even with this construction underway. So I like it. That's very, very solid. And that's going to be finished up in 17 weeks. Now, I would very much like to do what I was talking about and getting some, let's see, not agriculture. It was under, was it under industry? Railways is what I'm talking about. I think that was actually under the trade lens. Yeah, buildings under trade lens. So I would like to get these queued up. The question is, how many can we get away with building? And these are apparently losing money per week right now, but that's something we can work on. Okay. So yeah, that would be the impact profit of expansion. Mostly as weekly wages and engines. Okay. The Ottoman Empire's attempt to take back control of the Levant from Egypt has become an international incident. Our involvement may tip the balance of power in the region. I'm not sure why we would ever express any interest in the Middle East. There's so little value in those far-off lands. Deserts, sand, a wasteland. Honestly, we don't have any interest in Arabia, so we have no interest in that crisis. So we already have railroads over here, and of course they're not making money right now. The primary reason for that is because engines are very expensive. Okay. Now, it's not the only reason, but that is the primary reason. So, our engines were being produced somewhere that I've completely forgotten yet again, and that's exciting, for sure. Okay. Engines are being produced somewhere, but I want to check in on them. So I guess we'll need to go to the production lens and find that again. I can't remember. Engines. Here we go. So we've got our motor industry here. This is making some amount of money at this moment. However, its cash reserves are nowhere near full, so I think we're not going to bother expanding that at this point. The major reason why I'm interested in developing our railways is not necessarily for the transportation good or for the coal or engine cost. It's primarily for the urbanization and infrastructure that I'm interested. So, interesting. This action is not allowed for Prussia. Okay, yeah. So I was just looking at this and saying, wait a second, is this allowing me to build things in other countries? But no, it's not. So that's good to know. So I think we are making 28.5. I'm going to queue up 1. That brings us down to 13.9. 11.1. So it's very clear that we don't want to build more than 1 at a time. Got it. So that's fine. We are constructing up over here. That will be done in 6 weeks. And that's great. But it is past time to put a cut in here. I actually got pretty wrapped up in that. So that's pretty great. I'm enjoying this quite a bit. We'll see how it ages, but for right now, I'm definitely enjoying the economic side of this. It is time to put a cut in here, though, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to continue clawing our way out of debt. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods. Oh, we actually got quite a ways. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, JJ Gamer, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, Atala, Jens Graham, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video. And as always, I will see you all next time.